Hello my dear students, welcome to Teacher at Home. Today class we are going to learn the 19th chapter, Chemical Coordination and Integration. We already learned that the neural system provides a point-to-point rapid coordination among organs. The neural coordination is fast but short-lived, as the nerve fibers do not innervate all cells of the body and the cellular functions need to be continuously regulated. A special kind of coordination and integration has to be provided. This function is carried out by hormones. The neural system and the endocrine system jointly coordinate and regulate the physiological functions in the body. Endocrine glands and hormones. Endocrine glands lack ducts and are hence called ductless glands. The secretions are called hormones. The classical definition of hormone as a chemical produced by endocrine gland released into the blood and transported to a distinctly located target organ has current scientific definition as follows. Hormones are non-nutrition chemicals which act as intercellular messengers and are produced in trace amounts. The new definition covers a number of new molecules in addition to the hormones secreted by the organized endocrine glands. Invertebrates possess very simple endocrine systems with few hormones, whereas a large number of chemicals act as hormones and provide coordination in the vertebrates. Human endocrine system is described here. Human endocrine system. Endocrine glands and hormones producing diffuse tissues, cells located in different parts of body constitute the endocrine system. Pituitary, pineal, thyroid, adrenal, pancreas, parathyroid, thymus and gonads are the organized endocrine bodies in our body. In addition to this, some other organs, gastrointestinal tract, liver, kidney, heart, also produce hormones. A brief account of the structure and function of all major endocrine glands, hypothalamus of the human body, is given in the following sessions. Hypothalamus. As you know, the hypothalamus is a basal part of diencephalon, forebrain, and it regulates a wide spectrum of body function. Contains several groups of neurotransecretory cells called nuclei, which produce hormones. These hormones regulate the synthesis and secretion of pituitary hormones. However, the hormone produced by hypothalamus are of two types: the releasing hormone, which stimulates secretion of pituitary hormones, and the inhibiting hormone, which inhibits secretions of pituitary hormones. For example, hypothalamic hormone called gonadotropin releasing hormone GnRH stimulates the pituitary synthesis and release of gonadotropin. On the other hand, somatostatin from the hypothalamus inhibits the release of growth hormone from the pituitary. These hormones originating in the hypothalamic neurons pass through axons and are released from the nerve endings. These hormones reach the pituitary gland through a portal circulatory system and regulate the functions of the anterior pituitary. Posterior pituitary is under the direct neural regulation of the hypothalamus. Pituitary gland. Pituitary gland is located in the bony cavity called sella turcica and is attached to the hypothalamus by a stalk. It is divided anatomically into adenohypophysis and neurohypophysis. Adenohypophysis consists of two portions, pars distalis and pars intermedia. The pars distalis region of pituitary, commonly called anterior pituitary, produces growth hormone, prolactin, thyroid stimulating hormone, adrenocorticotropic hormone, and luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone. Pars intermedia stimulates only one hormone called melanocyte stimulating hormone. However, in humans, the pars intermedia is almost merged with pars distalis. Neurohypophysis, also known as posterior pituitary, stores and releases two hormones called oxytocin and vasopressin, which are actually synthesized by the hypothalamus and are transported axonally to neurohypophysis. Oversecretion of GH stimulates abnormal growth of the body, leading to gigantism, and low secretion of GH results in the stunted growth, resulting in pituitary dwarfism. Excess secretion of growth hormone in adults, especially in middle age, can result in severe disfigurement, especially in the face called acromegaly, which may lead to serious complications and premature death if unchecked. This disease is hard to diagnose in the early stages and often goes undetected for many years until changes in external feature become noticeable. Prolactin regulates the growth of the mammary glands and the formation of milk in them. TSH stimulates the synthesis and secretion of thyroid hormones from the thyroid gland. ACTH stimulates the synthesis and secretion of steroid hormones called glucocorticoids from the adrenal cortex. LH, FSH stimulate gonadal activity and hence are called gonadotropins. In males, LH stimulates the synthesis and secretion of hormones called androgens from testes. In males, FSH and androgens regulate the spermatogenesis. In females, LH induces ovulation of fully mature follicles and maintains the corpus luteum formed from the remnants of the Graafian follicles after ovulation. FSH stimulates growth and development of the ovarian follicles in females. MSH acts on the melanocytes, melanin containing cells, and regulates pigmentation of the skin. Oxytocin acts on the smooth muscles of our body and stimulates their contraction. In females, it stimulates a vigorous contraction of the uterus at the time of childbirth, milk ejection from the mammary gland. Vasopressin acts mainly in the kidney and stimulates reabsorption of water and electrolytes by the distal tubules and thereby reduces loss of water through urine. Hence, it is also called as antidiuretic hormone. An impairment affecting synthesis or release results in a diminished ability of the kidney to conserve water, leading to the water loss and dehydration. This condition is known as the diabetes insipidus. The pineal gland. Pineal gland is located on the dorsal side of forebrain. Pineal secretes a hormone called melatonin. Melatonin plays a very important role in the regulation of 24-hour rhythm of our body. For example, it helps in maintaining the normal rhythm of sleep-wake cycle body temperature. In addition, melatonin also influences metabolism, pigmentation, menstrual cycle, as well as our defense capability. Thyroid gland. Thyroid gland is composed of two lobes which are located on either side of the trachea. Both the lobes are interconnected within a thin flap of connective tissue called isthmus. Thyroid gland is composed of follicles and stromal tissues. Each thyroid follicle is composed of follicular cells enclosing a cavity. This follicular cells synthesizes two hormones, tetraiodothyrosin, thyronin or thyroxine, and triiodothyronin, that is T3. Iodine is essential for the normal rate of hormone synthesis in the thyroid. Deficiency of iodine in our diet results in hypothyroidism and enlargement of the thyroid gland, commonly called goiter. Hypothyroidism during pregnancy causes defective development and maturation of the growing baby, leading to stunted growth, that is cretinism, mental retardation, low intelligence quotient, abnormal skin, deaf mutism, etc. In adult women, hypothyroidism may cause menstrual cycle to become irregular. Due to cancer of the thyroid gland or due to the development of the nodules of the thyroid gland, rate of synthesis and secretion of the thyroid hormone is increased to abnormal high levels, leading to a condition called hyperthyroidism, which adversely affects the body physiology. Exophthalmic goiter is a form of hyperthyroidism characterized by the enlargement of the thyroid gland, protrusion of the eyeballs, increased basal metabolic rate, weight loss called the Graves' disease. Thyroid hormone play an important role in the regulation of the basal metabolic rate. These hormones also support the process of red blood cell formation. Thyroid hormone controls the metabolism of carbohydrate, protein and fat. Maintenance of water electrolyte balance is also influenced by these hormones. Thyroid gland also secrete a protein hormone called thyrocalcitonin, which regulates the blood calcium levels. Parathyroid gland. In humans, four parathyroid glands are present on the backside of the thyroid gland, one pair each in the two lobes of the thyroid gland. Parathyroid glands secrete a peptide hormone called parathyroid hormone. Secretion of PTH is regulated by the Circulating levels of calcium ions. Parathyroid hormone, PTH, it increases the calcium levels in the blood. PTH act on bones and stimulate the process of bone reformation, resorption. PTH also stimulates reabsorption of calcium by the renal tubules, increases calcium absorption from the digested food. It is thus clear that the PTH is a hypercalcemic hormone. It increases the blood calcium levels along with TCT, play a significant role in calcium balance in the body. Thymus. Thymus gland is a lobular structure located between lungs, behind sternum on the ventral side of aorta. Thymus play a major role in the development of the immune system. This gland secrete the peptide hormone called thymosin. Thymosin play a major role in the differentiation of T lymphocyte, which provide cell-mediated immunity. In addition, thymosins also promote production of antibodies to provide humoral immunity. Thymus is degenerated in old individuals, resulting in a decreased production of thymosin. As a result, immune responses of old persons become weak. Adrenal gland. Our body has one pair of adrenal gland, one at the anterior part of each kidney. The gland is composed of two types of tissue. Centrally located tissue is called adrenal medulla and outside lies the adrenal cortex. Underproduction of hormones by the adrenal cortex alters carbohydrate metabolism causing acute weakness and fatigue leading to a disease called Addison's disease. Adrenal medulla secrete two hormones called adrenaline or epinephrine, noradrenaline, norepinephrine. These are commonly called the catecholamines. Adrenaline and noradrenaline are rapidly secreted in response to stress of any kind and during emergency situations and are called emergency hormones or hormones of fight or flight. These hormones increase alertness, pupillary dilation, piloerection, sweating, etc. Both the hormones increase the heartbeat, strength of heart contraction, and the rate of respiration. Catecholamines also stimulate the breakdown of glycogen, resulting in an increased concentration of glucose in blood. In addition, they also stimulate the breakdown of lipids and proteins. Adrenal cortex can be divided into three layers called zona reticularis, zona fasciculata, zona glomerulosa. Adrenal cortex secrete many hormones commonly called as corticoids. Corticoids, which are involved in the carbohydrate metabolism, are called glucocorticoids. In our body, cortisol is the main glucocorticoid. Corticoids, which regulate the balance of water and electrolytes in our body, are called mineralocorticoids. Aldosterone is the main mineralocorticoid in our body. Glucocorticoid, it stimulates the gluconeogenesis, lipolysis and proteolysis and inhibit cellular uptake and utilization of amino acid. Cortisol is also involved in maintaining the cardiovascular system as well as the kidney function. Glucocorticoids, particularly cortisol, produces anti-inflammatory reactions and suppresses the immune response. Cortisol stimulates the RBC production. Aldosterone, it acts mainly at the renal tubules and stimulates the reabsorption of sodium and water and excretion of potassium and phosphate ions. Thus, aldosterone helps in the maintenance of electrolytes, body fluid volume, osmotic pressure, blood pressure, small amounts of androgenic steroids, and also secreted by the adrenal cortex, which play a major role in the growth of axial hair, pubic hair, facial hair during the puberty. Pancreas. Pancreas is a composite gland which acts as both exocrine and endocrine gland. Endocrine pancreas consists of islets of Langerhans. There are about 1 to 2 million islets of Langerhans in the normal human pancreas, representing only 1 to 2% of the pancreatic tissue. The two main types of cells in the islets of Langerhans are called alpha cells and beta cells. Alpha cells secrete a hormone called glucagon, while the beta cells secrete insulin. Glucagon is a peptide hormone and play an important role in maintaining the normal blood glucose level. Glucagon acts mainly on the liver cells, hepatocyte, and stimulate glycogenolysis, resulting in increased blood sugar, that is hyperglycemia. In addition, this hormone stimulates the process of gluconeogenesis, which also contribute to hyperglycemia. Glucagon, it reduces cellular glucose uptake and utilization. Thus, glucagon is a hyperglycemic hormone. Insulin is a peptide hormone which play an important role in the regulation of glucose homeostasis. Insulin acts mainly on hepatocytes and adipocytes and enhances cellular glucose uptake and utilization. As a result, there is a rapid movement of glucose from blood to hepatocytes and adipocytes, resulting in decreased blood glucose levels, that is, hypoglycemia. Insulin also stimulates conversion of glucose to glycogen, that is, glycogenesis, in the target cell. The glucose homeostasis in blood is thus maintained by the two insulin and glucagon. Prolonged hypoglycemia lead to a complex disorder called diabetes mellitus, which is associated with loss of glucose through urine and formation of harmful compounds known as the ketone bodies. Diabetic patients are successfully treated with insulin therapy. Next is the testis. A pair of testes is present in the scrotal sac of female individuals. Testis perform dual functions as a primary sex organ as well as the endocrine gland. Testis is composed of seminiferous tubules and stromal or intestinal tissue. The Leydig cells or interstitial cells, which are present in the intertubular spaces, produce a group of hormones called androgens, mainly testosterone. Androgens regulate the development, maturation, and function of the male accessory organs, sex organs like epididymis, vas deferens, seminal vesicles, prostate gland, urethra, etc. These hormones stimulate muscular growth, growth of facial and axillary hair, aggressiveness, low pitch of voice, etc. Androgens play a major stimulatory role in the process of spermatogenesis, that is, formation of spermatozoa. Androgens act on the central neural system and influence the male sexual behavior. Libido. This hormone produces anabolic effects on protein and carbohydrate metabolism. Ovary. Females have a pair of ovaries located in the abdomen. Ovary is the primary female sex organ which produce one ovum during each menstrual cycle. In addition, ovary also produces two groups of steroid hormones called estrogen and progesterone. Ovary is composed of ovarian follicles and stromal tissues. Estrogen is synthesized and secreted mainly by the growing ovarian follicles. After ovulation, the ruptured follicle is converted to a structure called corpus luteum, which secrete mainly progesterone. Estrogens produce wide-ranging actions such as stimulation of growth activities of female secondary sex organs, development of growth ovarian follicles, appearance of female secondary sex characters. Mammary gland development. Estrogens also regulate female sexual behavior. Progesterone support pregnancy. Progesterone also acts on the mammary glands and stimulate the formation of alveoli structures and milk secretion. Hormones of heart, kidney, and gastrointestinal tract. Now you know about the endocrine gland and the hormones. However, as mentioned earlier, the hormones are also secreted by some tissues which are not endocrine gland. For example, arterial wall of a heart secrete a very important peptide hormone called arterial natriuretic factor, which decreases the blood pressure. When blood pressure increases, ANF is secreted, which causes dilation of the blood vessels. This reduces the blood pressure. The juxtaglomerular cells of kidney produce a peptide hormone called erythropoietin, which stimulates erythropoiesis. Endocrine cells present in different parts of the gastrointestinal tract secrete four major peptide hormones, namely gastrin-secreting cholecystokinin and gastric inhibitory peptide. Gastrin acts on the gastric glands and stimulates the secretion of hydrochloric acid and pepsinogen. Secretin acts on the exocrine pancreas and stimulates secretion of water and bicarbonate ion. CCK acts on both pancreas and gallbladder and stimulates the secretion of pancreatic enzyme and bile juice respectively. GIP inhibits gastric secretion and motility. Several other non-endocrine tissues secrete hormones called growth factors. These factors are essential for the normal growth of tissues and they are repairing regeneration. Mechanism of hormone actions. Hormone produce their effects on target tissue by binding to specific proteins called hormone receptors located in the target tissues only. Hormone receptors present on the cell membrane of the target cells are called membrane-bound receptors and the receptors present inside the target cell are called intracellular receptors. Mostly nuclear receptors binding hormone to its receptor lead to the formation of a hormone receptor complex. Each receptor is specific to one hormone only and hence receptors are specific. hormone receptor complex formation lead to certain biochemical changes in the target tissue. Large tissue metabolism and hence physiological functions are regulated by hormones. On the basis of the chemical nature, hormone can be divided into peptide, polypeptide protein hormone, that is insulin, glucagon, pituitary hormone, hypothalamic hormones, steroid, cortisol, testosterone, estradiol and progesterone, iodothyronine, thyroid hormones, amino acid derivatives, epinephrine. Hormone which interact with membrane-bound receptors, namely, normally do not enter the target cell but generate second messengers, which in turn regulate cellular metabolism. Hormones which interact with intercellular receptors mostly regulate growth, expression, and of chromosome function by the interaction of hormone receptor complex with the genome. Cumulative biochemical action result in physiological and development effects. That is hormone response 1, generation of second messenger, cyclic AMP or calcium, biochemical process, physiological responses, uterine cell membrane, hormone receptor complex, nucleus, genome, mRNA, proteins, physiological response, etc. So that's all about this chapter. If you are interested, please do like, share and subscribe my channel. Okay, thank you.